Ciao ragazzi, the first international break is upon us, so this represents a good time to examine the current state of Inter. Before getting into the video, be sure to let us know down in the comments below what you kind of think some of the positives and negatives of the season have been. Don't forget to like and subscribe too. We've started the season unbeaten, winning 2 of our opening 3 games and drawn another one. We're sitting in 4th place with 7 points to our name, 2 points adrift of league leaders. So myself and Sempre Inter TV newcomer Fabio are going to examine some of the positives and negatives that we've seen from the first few weeks of Inter's season.
It's a pleasure to be on, and just wanted to discuss some of the positives and negatives of this start of this season, Inter. And starting off with the squad depth, I think that Inter finally have a really, really strong squad, with plenty of options off the bench to change the game, as we saw versus Fiorentina. And it will be key with the tight run of games that we've got leading up to Christmas. And Conte can make full use of the 5 substitutions. Change the squad round, change the tactics in mid-game, which he hasn't been able to do for the first season. So that's a huge positive that I think we can see already from the first 3 games of the season. Not to mention players like Skriniar staying adds complete strength in that back line, and hopefully he can forge a great partnership with De Vrij and Bastoni and solidify that back 3. It's sad that unfortunately he's now got COVID, so he may have to self-isolate for a couple of weeks, so he may miss the derby, which is a huge loss for us. And as he put in a fantastic performance against Lazio at that right centre-back role, so hopefully he comes back stronger, and we see what we hope is the future captain of Inter continue to work really hard in that role. Other than that, Sanchez has perhaps been one of the most underrated signings of the summer. He's obviously come in as a free transfer after his loan last year. After securing a release from his contract at Man United, he's been absolutely fantastic in this squad. He works so well with both Lautaro and Lukaku. He can play with them, with one of them, without them. It's fantastic. He provides that spark and that connection between the midfield and the attack. Creates, provides, scores. He's fantastic. And to get him on a free transfer, he's looking like his old self that we saw at Udinese, Barca and Arsenal. So that's a fantastic asset to have off the bench and a huge positive for this side. Conte himself has got the side firing on all cylinders. We've scored so many goals in these first 3 games, and they're attacking with absolute real purpose. We're really going for these games. We're not sort of sitting back and going on the counter-attack like teams of old. We're really going for the throttle and go for the jugular really in these games, but also controlling it. So against Lazio, he didn't go for the all-out attack that he did for Fiorentina, but he went for the controlled attempt of trying to secure the football and secure the goals and secure the win. Unfortunately, we didn't manage that. But we were the better team, and unfortunately those red cards changed the game for both us and Lazio. My final positive would be to say that we finally got a decent Champions League group. There's obviously the whole cliche that you never have an easy Champions League group, because obviously the teams in that competition are the best in Europe. However, after 2 groups of death from the last few seasons, having Barca and Spurs and then Barca and Dortmund, it's quite a relief to only have one of those big teams, so to speak. So Real Madrid is our big challenge in the group, and hopefully we can overcome Borussia Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar to challenge Real Madrid for the top spot in that group.
I absolutely agree with the positives you've raised there, Fabio. As for some positives from myself, I think the first I'm going to raise is the continued good form of both Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. The pair of them were absolutely instrumental in all our successes last season, and it looks like they're going to be key again this year. They've both got 3 goals in as many games this season, and you can't really ask for much more than that from them. Another positive for me is undoubtedly Achraf Hakimi. Our new right wing back has come in and wasted absolutely no time whatsoever in making an impression. He's got two assists and a goal in his first 3 outings for the club, and looks to be a complete bargain. We paid 45 million for him from Real Madrid, and he's lightning quick, and he just seems to be the perfect player for this Antonio Conte system, and I'm very much excited to see what he's going to do between now and the end of the season. The signing of Arturo Vidal from Barcelona also looks to be a shrewd piece of transfer business. Vidal is a player that we courted for a very, very long time, and we finally got him to the club, and he's brought a real winning mentality, a lot of grinta to the midfield, and I'm delighted that we've finally got him after all of Conte's demands, and hopefully he is going to be key for us this season, and based on his first few performances, it looks like he will be. Another positive for me was the recent draw against Lazio. Now, last season Lazio really fought for the title alongside ourselves and Juventus, who eventually went on to win the title, and going to the Olympico is never easy, but we managed to come away with a draw, and I think if you'd been offered that prior to the game, you'd have definitely taken that. So really happy with that, and as I said in the intro, we've started unbeaten, so that's definitely another positive that we've got. Hopefully we can continue that and really make a really good fight for the title this season. So we've addressed some of the positives. What about some of the negatives then, Fabio? What has kind of been some of the sore points for you in the first few weeks of the season?
The left wing back role is something that I think we're all a little bit concerned by. Ashley Young has done a sterling job there since he came in January and has made that his own, but unfortunately he can't play every game. He's at that age where he's going to struggle to play every 3 days for the foreseeable future, so we needed someone reliable to come in, and we've kept Perisic, and he doesn't look comfortable there, especially not these first few games, so it's going to be a real interest to see what happens there, and I would expect another left wing back to come in January, whoever he can get on loan perhaps, or a free transfer or something like that, and maybe they can address it in the summer, someone like of the quality that Hakimi has brought on the right. They can find someone for the left of that sort of value and that sort of transfer next summer, but I don't think that's going to happen before then, especially with the financial situation that we're in. So hopefully Ashley Young can stay fit as much as possible and Perisic can adapt to that role. But other than that, I think that's our real weakness in our squad. The other sort of sore spot, I think, is Kolarov playing left centre-back. He's come in as a free transfer, effectively a free transfer, only sort of €1 million, so not a huge financial outlay to cover sort of in the defence. And his first few performances as left centre-back has left a few question marks for all of us, and has been quite unconvincing in that role. And unfortunately, with Bastoni also suffering from coronavirus, it looks like Kolarov is going to start in the derby at left centre-back. So let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. I agree they are both negatives as well. As for negatives, I think the defence is certainly one of them. We've shipped 6 goals in our opening 3 matches, and personally, I feel nearly all of these goals could have been avoided. A lot of it's been through our own doing rather than being outclassed by the opponent, and it's certainly something we really need to work on. You said Kolarov's really struggled. He certainly needs to lift kind of the level of his play, and we just generally need to be a bit better. Sami Handanovic hasn't really looked great. He's made a few kind of errors. That Benevento, one of their goals was definitely his fault. So yeah, as I say, we really need to sort that out sooner rather than later. Another negative for me, although I just said it was a positive, was the Lazio draw. As I said, going into the match, I think if you'd been offered a draw, you'd have certainly taken it, given the quality that Lazio possess and given how difficult a side they are to face. But given the way the game went, I think it is also a negative. We dominated this game for 60, 70 minutes, and we really should have come away with all 3 points in this one, and it was really poor defending that cost us and led to us only picking up 1 point rather than all 3. Ivan Perisic was... Yeah, I really don't know what he was doing at their goal. Milinkovic-Savic got the better of him, and Handanovic again was really, really slow to get to his near post. So as I say, I think that was an avoidable one and certainly a negative as much as it was also a positive as well.